Hey guys, welcome back to another episode where we follow a build of a Ribeye Prime series. Beside me here, we've got another badass 9.8 meter build in a sort of custom black color scheme. Really high spec on this one and some really neat custom features that the owners come up with. So plenty to talk to you about on the console and also on the T-top, for example. And we'll look at those things when we get this boat on the water. But before we crack on with this video, you can see we've got the twin 300s on the back of this boat. So these are the new Yamaha V6 offshore engines. We've got the SBW steering system on there, so the steering's fully electric, and the owner of this boat has specified the joystick control. So loads of functionality on this boat, which is going to make it so easy to use. You'll see we've got new for 2023, fantastic boarding steps, both sides of the engines, a really unique feature with this boat. Standard Ribeye deep V hull, so awesome offshore boat. And we've also got our new helm station that will be fitted in due course. So there'll be suspension bucket seats at the helm. So a really cool project to follow the build on, guys. So stay tuned and we'll follow this badass 9.8 meter getting on the water. Right guys, before we head to the new NOS on Dart dry stack to put this beautiful Prime 941 to bed in the marina, let's take a look at the tech spec to look at some of the really cool custom features that the owner of this boat designed with us. So first up, let's look at the custom windscreen that we mentioned. If I zoom in here, you'll see the curved forward-facing edge there. That's the edge of the standard dynamic Prime windscreen, which works really well, and it's designed to be of a height that when you stand up at the helm, you can basically see over the top of it, so you get a bit of windage in your face. Now, the owner of this boat is very tall and wanted to have a screen. That means that he'd have full protection of his face even when he stood up, and he is over 6'3". So we've come up with, well, the owner actually procured some design time with our engineering team to enable us to design and manufacture a custom windscreen to suit his high ergonomics. So that's going to work really well, especially in those longer offshore journeys, which the client is planning to use this 941 for, you know, cross-channel trips and also trips from Dartmouth up to the Isle of Wight and places like that. We move on to the render, which looks absolutely insane in these colour schemes, nearly boat show ready, I'd say. I don't know if I'd spec the boat much differently myself, to be honest. I love the orange piping. So start with the gel coat, stealth black Ribeye gel coat, looks absolutely fantastic and looks even better in the flesh. Tubes, we've gone for the legendary Carbon Effect black Hypalon. We're doing a lot of that on a lot of our primes, as you may have seen on our social medias. Black rubbing stroke as well, and then you just got the white Ribeye branding at the back, which really pops and looks fantastic. And then finally, the Diamante carbon upholstery for the main panels. That's like a really sort of dark slate grey. Twin cross stitching, which looks fantastic. And then piped in orange Silvertex. So Silvertex has that smooth finish. And when you kind of pipe that on top of the Diamante, which has a Carbon Effect finish, you've got a few textures going on there, but it really does work well and looks super premium. Let's take a closer look of what's actually going on in the boat. You can see our helm station there initially, and you can see that word on the shocks unit underneath. That is the shocks logo. Now, let's just take note of the size of these shocks. There isn't another suspension seat or a suspension unit on the market which has anywhere near as much travel as these shocks units. You need them to be that deep to be as comfortable as they are. You've got to try them. They really are the sort of seats that you can sit on for hours at sea, allowing you to use the boat for longer in great comfort. Another thing that's been really popular with 2023 builds on primes are these over tube steps here, as you can see. Now, they are actually tapped and bolted into the foam core infused deck, which means they're super solid, and it allows us to cantilever that step over the tube, but it still remains fully structural and it doesn't flex in any way when you stand on it. So it's probably the safest boarding step I've ever used on any rib. And you can also grab onto the T-top as you board. Great for getting elderly on and off the boat, or just getting any friends and family onto the boat super safely. I really like there, and you can see there's a cool little boarding light you can switch on and off for when you're boarding in a fading light perhaps. Looking at the helm, you get the awesome Ribeye well, carbon dash, and also the breadth of the dynamic console allows for, if you want to spec it, twin 16-inch plotters. I don't think there's another rib on the market at this size that enables such big screens to be fitted. And when you sit behind it and you hang on to that Isotta Italian steering wheel, you're just going to feel like you're in a premium boat, and the owner's really done a good job specing that. And also you can see the size of the custom windscreen, which looks fantastic. Okay guys, so that is the proud new owners of this 941 just hopping on board for the start of the handover. We're going to head initially to the jetty to start going over all the controls, looking at the joystick, and then the plan is to get the clients out to sea with Dan, and the sun is shining. It should be an amazing day.